I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days have been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. Oh, yes, you have. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. Oh, yes, you have. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause your goodness is running after, it's running after me, yeah. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me, yeah. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me, yeah. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. Oh, yes, you have. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. Hallelujah. All my life you have been faithful. Thank you, Lord.
And here we are once again, my brothers and sisters, for another journey into God's Word. Thank you for attending another Living Hope Today study. And I want to start today with a question for you. Has God ever given you a good hard no? Like you wanted to go in a certain direction in your life, you had something planned, you were thinking your life was going to end up in that place, wherever that decision would take you, but it didn't happen. Well, you maybe didn't hear the sky open up and you hear a big loud no from the heavens. But circumstantially, every time you tried to go in a certain direction, you were stopped. Well, how do we react to these things? Do we get frustrated? Well, we can, but it's more likely that we should understand that maybe it's not working out because God doesn't want us to go that way. And maybe what we should be doing is thinking about, where does God want us to go? Well, today you're going to watch that play out in David's life directly. Let me show you what I mean. When you get to chapter 29, verse 1, the Philistines gathered all their forces at Aphek, and Israel camped by the spring in Jezreel. What's happening? We're getting ready to fight again, right? The Philistines and the Israelites. Man, it reminds me of 2026. We're still fighting it out with these descendants of Ishmael. All right, well, as the Philistine rulers marched with their units of hundreds and thousands, okay, a lot of guys, David and his men were marching at the rear with Achish. Now, you remember, David has fled to Gath under King Achish, the Philistine ruler. He's fled there. He's been hanging out there. 16 months he's stayed there. Okay, what do we find out next? The commanders of the Philistines asked, "What about these Hebrews?" Achish replied, "Is this not David, who was an officer of Saul, king of Israel? He has already been with me for over a year, and from the day he left Saul until now, I have found no fault in him." What are they saying? Well, hey, this David, he's killed a bunch of Philistines in his day. I know he's been hanging out with you, king, but we don't trust him. And the king is saying, well, wait a minute, he's been great. He's been by my side the whole time. Well, yeah, but he's got 600 guys, and we don't think we should go to fight with him. We don't think, well, wait a minute, he's okay. That's the argument going on in the Philistine camp. But the Philistine commanders were angry with him and said, "Send the man back, that he may return to the place you assigned him. He must not go with us into battle, or he will turn against us during the fighting. How better could he regain his master's favor than by taking the heads of our own men?" We don't trust David at all. Isn't this the David they sang about in their dances? Saul is slaying his thousands and David his tens of thousands. Notice how the author brings us back to David's conquest over Saul. So Achish called David and said to him, "As surely as the Lord lives, you have been reliable, and I would be pleased to have you serve with me in the army. From the day you came to me until now, I have found no fault in you, but the rulers don't approve of you. So, hey, turn back, go in peace, do nothing to displease the rulers, the Philistine rulers." Okay, so Dave, I know you have this opportunity now to take this personally. Maybe you want to attack somebody. Just try to relax, okay? Just go back home and hang out. David gets a good hard no. You're not going to do what we thought you were going to do. And he questions it. "But what have I done?" asked David. "What have you found against your servant from the day I came to you until now? Why can't I go and fight against the enemies of my lord the king?" Is that a genuine question, David? Would you really fight against your brothers in Israel? Would you? Well, we're not really told that he would. But he does ask the question, and Achish answered, "I know that you have been as pleasing in my eyes as an angel of God." Well, that's pretty pleasing. Nevertheless, the Philistine commanders have said he must not go up with us into battle. So, Dave, look, I know I'm the king, but I just work here. These other army guys are telling me, no, you can't come, so go home. Now get up early, along with your master's servants who have come with you, and leave in the morning as soon as it is light. So David and his men got up early in the morning to go back to the land of the Philistines, and the Philistines went up to Jezreel. That's the end of chapter 29. Okay, so David just got a good hard no. It wasn't a no from the clouds of heaven with a voice, of an angel. It was a no that came about circumstantially, right? Well, look how God uses that no. David and his men reached Ziklag. That's where they were, right? Chapter 30, on the third day. Now, the Amalekites, not again. Those Amalekites are coming back again. More trouble. They had raided the Negev and Ziklag. They had attacked Ziklag and burned it. So David's town is on fire, and had taken captive the women and all who were in it, both young and old. They killed none of them, but carried them off as they went on their way. So David's town's on fire, and his wives are gone. The village has been decimated and evacuated, and his people have been stolen. So instead of fighting with Achish, God has redirected David. When David and his men came to Ziklag, they found it destroyed by fire, and their wives and their sons and daughters were taken captive. So David and his men wept aloud until they had no strength left to weep. Yeah, a good cry. Everybody's gone, the town's destroyed, and oh, by the way, we have 600 guys, and these Amalekites are terribly powerful. How are we going to deal with this? Well, David's two wives have been captured, Ahinoam of Jezreel and Abigail, the widow of Nabal of Carmel. Notice the text wants us to make sure we understand who his wives are here. David was greatly distressed, probably an understatement, because the men were talking of stoning him. Oh, hey, David, this is your fault. It's got to be somebody's fault. It's your fault, right? Each one was bitter in spirit because of his sons and daughters. In other words, we've lost all these things. David, it's your fault. What are we going to do? Well, look at this. This is how God develops somebody. David found strength in the Lord, his God. What does David do when his whole world is being turned upside down? He thought he was going to go fight with those Philistines, but no, that didn't work out. Now he's gone back home after 3 days' journey, and the home's on fire. The wives, the children, the daughters, everybody's gone. They've been captivated, or captured, maybe I should say, by the Amalekites. Okay. David does what a godly person does. He finds his strength in the Lord. He goes before the Lord. Look at this. Then David said to Abiathar the priest, the son of Ahimelech, bring me the ephod. Abiathar brought it to him, and David inquired of the Lord. Ah, there it is. David inquired of the Lord. Hey, I'm not smart enough to figure out what to do. I'm not powerful enough to figure out what to do. I know God has presented me with this circumstance, and what am I going to do? I'm going to go to him and seek him for guidance, for direction, to understand what he wants me to do. Perfect. That's a great lesson for us, isn't it, church? Shall I pursue this raiding party? Will I overtake them? What does God say? Pursue them, he answered. You will certainly overtake them and succeed in the rescue. So God understands who David's up against. He understands how big they are. He understands how, circumstantially speaking, in the natural world, David wouldn't stand a chance to defeat this enemy and regain all the people. But by the power of God, it's going to happen. And God confirms it for him here in verse 8. Go ahead, go after him. David and the 600 men with him came to Besor Ravine, where some stayed behind. Why? Well, for 200 men were too exhausted to cross the ravine. Wow, okay, so we're going to lose a third of our guys. But David and 400 men continued the pursuit. Okay, so now we're down to 400 guys against this massive force. They found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David, and they gave him water to drink and food to eat. part of a cake of pressed figs and 2 cakes of raisins, and he ate and was revived. So the Egyptian has obviously had some sort of physical problem. They had to kind of get him going again here by feeding him and giving him things to drink. So he was revived, for he had not eaten any food or drunk any water for 3 days and 3 nights. So they bring this Egyptian back to reality, so to speak, and David asked him, "To whom do you belong and where do you come from?" And he said, "I'm an Egyptian. I'm the slave of an Amalekite." Okay, the guys that just attacked Ziklag and took all your people, I was a slave of one of those people. My master abandoned me when I became ill 3 days ago. So I got left behind. Okay, we raided the Negev of the Kerethites and the territory belonging to Judah and the Negev of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag. So he just recounts everything that the Amalekites have done. And David asks him, "Can you lead me down to this raiding party?" And he answers, "Swear to me before God that you will not kill me or hand me over to my master, and I'll take you down to them." So the guy wants immunity, right? Don't kill me. And if you don't kill me, you don't give me back to the people that I used to be a slave to, then I'll show you what's going on. So he led David down, and there they were, scattered over the countryside, eating, drinking, and reveling because of the great amount of plunder they had taken from the land of the Philistines and from Judah. So they're down there celebrating the victory. The Egyptian points out where they are, and David fought them from dusk until the evening of the next day, and none of them got away except 400 young men who rode off on camels and fled. Don't you hate that? That means we're going to have more Amalekite trouble in the future. He almost got them. If only King Saul had wiped them out as he was instructed to, none of this would have happened. But because of Saul's lack of faith and Saul's incompetence, his disobedience, now we're still fighting the Amalekites in chapter 30. And some of them get away. We're going to be fighting them some more as time moves forward. But in 18 it says David recovered everything the Amalekites had taken, including his 2 wives. God restores him. Nothing was missing, young or old, boy or girl, plunder or anything else they had taken. David brought everything back. He recovered everything. So God took him away from fighting against the Israelites with the Philistines to defending Ziklag and achieving complete restoration through the power that God gave him. He took all the flocks and herds, and his men drove them ahead of the other livestock, saying, "This is David's plunder." Then David came to the 200 men who had been too exhausted to follow him and who were left behind at the Besor ravine. They came out to meet David and the people with him. As David and his men approached, he greeted them. I mean, we're about to take the victory lap, right? Because David has conquered the Amalekites and restored Ziklag. They still have to rebuild it, but all the people are back. All the stuff is back, the plunder, the livestock and whatnot. So it's time to celebrate, right? But all the evil men and troublemakers among David's followers said, don't you hate that introduction to verse 22? So David is leading a bunch of rabble-rousers, right? And here you see in 22, they're about to raise some rabble, okay? Because they did not go out with us, we will not share with them the plunder we recovered. In other words, you guys didn't go to the fight, so why should you get the stuff we got at the fight? However, each man may take his wife and children and go. Okay, have your family, but we're going to keep all the stuff for ourselves because we're the ones that went and fought. Well, at some level, maybe that makes sense, right? But to David, he understands that his whole little band of 600 guys are about to have this civil war with each other if he doesn't do something. David replied, "No, my brothers, you must not do that with what the Lord has given us. He has protected us. He's handed over to us the forces that came against us. Who will listen to what you say? The share of the man who stayed with the supplies is to be the same as that of him who went down to the battle. All will share alike. David's not going to let division enter the ranks. Everybody is entitled to the plunder. David made this a statute and an ordinance for Israel from that day to this. It's always like that. If you're in the army, you share in the plunder, whether you went to the battle or watched the stuff while somebody else went and fought. When David arrived in Ziklag, he sent some of the plunder to the elders of Judah who were his friends, saying, "Here is a present for you from the plunder of the Lord's enemies." He sent it to those who were in Bethel, Ramoth Negev, and Jatir, to those in Aror, Sifmoth, Eshtemoa, and Rakal, to those in the towns of the Jerahmeelites and the Kenites, to those in Hormah, Borashan, Atak, and Hebron, and to those in all the other places where David and his men had roamed. So David not only gets clear victory through God's power and direction, but now he uses that victory to gift his friends in all these locations in Judah, based on the plunder that he received in the battle he fought and won. He is doing what? By God's power, his stock, could you say, is being elevated. Saul, his stock is plummeting. In fact, we'll see tomorrow where Saul is taken out of the picture. In the end, you hear that good hard no from God. You don't get to go do what you think you wanted to do, or you're not getting that door to open that you think should open for you. Relax. Go before the Lord. Perhaps something else is waiting for you to do, and God will give you the power to do it. God bless you, church. Serve him well.
Who is it who for sinners shed his blood, and now for cleansing all can plunge beneath that flood? It's Jesus. But do you know who he is? He's the image of the invisible God, and he's the brightness of his glory, the first, the last, the future, the past. He is God.